Hello and welcome to a video about Conquest, how to make your Conquest real fast or how to make really big Conquest in a week. So in this video, I'm going to be going over the tips and tricks I have. I have managed to make over 7 million Conquests some weeks when I've tried really hard, or other weeks I've spent maybe 2 hours and I've gotten all of my characters to hit their 50,000k Conquest, be able to get their bonus. So I'm going to be stripping it down for you guys, showing you all the different things that you too can do to earn a lot of Conquest. So let's get right into the video. What is Conquest? So Conquest is a system in Star Wars The Old Republic that allows players to earn points by doing different missions in the game. There's also an invasion system where the different guilds can compete to claim a planet, because whoever wins gets the honor of having their name displayed on that planet when people log in to that planet until it changes, and they also get a title that they can put on their character. So if we open up our character sheet and we go under select a title, I do have quite a few titles already from different planets that our guild has won. Now there's a few things that are really good from a player's point of view of doing Conquest. So right here on the main Conquest screen under our mission log window, you can see there are rewards that I get. So if I make my 50,000 Conquest, I'm going to get solid resource matrix, which are an important crafting material. I'm going to get 100,000 worth of credit certificates. I'm going to get a few tech frags, some decorations that are used for gathering, and then equipment crate, which sometimes has good items in it, quite often doesn't, but that's all right. And then if we look under the guild invasion tab, depending on the size of planet your guild invades, if they meet the target, large is 5 million, medium is 2 million, and small is 500,000, you are going to get the rewards down here. So you get a bunch of good stuff, more solid resource matrix, more money, a ton of tech frags, a better equipment crate, and then you get to choose one reward. Flagship plans, which are great for upgrading your guild flagship, awesome thing to get, or they can be sold for some money if your guild ship doesn't need them to be upgraded. So that's the general idea. You can see also right here, invasion bonus 15%. So they've introduced a new system with scoring Conquest to make sure that people don't kind of cheat the system with inviting people to their guild and kicking them. Is your personal Conquest here does not reflect the 15% bonus until the Conquest week closes. So Conquest runs from Tuesday morning until Monday night basically, and then it gets reset every single week that way. If I was actually on the charts right here, I'd be able to see my actual amount of Conquest with the bonus applied. What I can do though is I can bring up my guild roster and I can set one of the filters to be Conquest points, and you can see 3,727, which is more than 3,242. You do lose that 15% bonus if you quit the guild or get kicked out. I always just go over the personal 50,000 before considering the 15% just to be on the safe side. You will get a stronghold bonus, which is based off of how many rooms you have unlocked in strongholds, or how many completed strongholds you have. So right now you can see I have 150%. 150% is the maximum that you can get for a stronghold bonus. This will vastly improve how quickly you earn Conquest and how easy it is to hit your 50k or your large numbers if you're going to compete against other players. The easiest strongholds that are quite cheap to get is Manon's pretty cheap. It's only got 4 rooms to expand. Umbara is extremely cheap, the trains. Droman Kos and Coruscant, obviously those are extremely cheap. They're your starter ones. They do have a lot of rooms to unlock, but they're not super expensive. Yavin 4 is a little bit expensive. I decided to pick that one anyways as the one that I fully unlocked just because I think it's really pretty. And I believe that that's all you need is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 strongholds to be able to get that max bonus. I did end up getting Alderaan as well just because it has the dummy on it, but I'm pretty sure that wasn't required to get the 150% bonus. And then as you can see, I have one that's partially unlocked, but I've already hit the cap, so it doesn't matter. In the past, you used to have to actually complete decorating your strongholds for the bonus. Oh, brutal. So how else can we optimize for Conquest before we actually get going into this? Because really, a lot of players want to know what's the best way to make sure they're getting the maximum amount of Conquest so that they're spending the least amount of time grinding it out. Well, there's a few things you can also do. You could look at upgrading the experience you gain in war zones, all these different things. A lot of them aren't really that expensive to fully unlock if you want. So definitely look at that. And then a big one, if you're already at level 75, is to make sure that you purchase your renown upgrades, and this will help you a lot because a lot of conquest does come from getting renown once you're past 75. If you are below level 71, this guide is kind of applicable, but not completely. I will make a future guide which is more specific to players below level 70, but there's so much variability that right now I'm going to start with the level 71 to 75 guide, and maybe a while before I come out with another guide for the lower levels of conquest objectives. All right, so back to the optimizing. So we've talked about the stronghold bonus. You want to max that out. We've talked about being part of a guild. They get the 15% invasion bonus. And then your renown and your legacy and your other experience. So how do we actually earn conquest points? Well, there's a big list of items and they all give you conquest. And basically these are all the ways that you can earn conquest. So now that you know generally what conquest is, how to look for where to get all the points, how to set up your stronghold bonus, and how it works and ties in with the guild invasion, let's talk about the actual missions that you're going to want to do. So you're going to have two objectives depending on how you want to conquest. You're either going to have the objective of just hitting your personal amount of 50,000 so you can get the rewards and get whatever associated guild perks are for the guild you belong in, assuming they set an invasion target. Or you're going to be looking to compete to get the highest amount of conquest possible or enough to push your guild over the invasion targets. Now let's take a look at how the conquest objectives actually work. So when you go to your mission log window and then you switch over to the conquest tab, there's a few different ways you can sort. For now, we'll sort by points. A couple things to note is this symbol here means that it can be repeated once per day, daily repeatable. So across all of your characters on your account on that server, I believe it's server specific or legacy specific, you can complete once per day. So potentially every day I could complete it on the same character, or I complete on a different character, but you cannot go and complete it on one character, switch to a new character on the same day and complete it again. There are some that don't have a symbol. These ones can only be completed once across your whole legacy for the week. So once it's done, it's completely gone. Nobody else has access to it out of the rest of your characters. And then we've got our infinitely repeatable. These ones just completely every single time you do them, you get the bonus. So that would be something like the renown rank up. So it's very important to know that difference and to plan around these ones that are daily repeatable or the ones that completely locked out. So you might notice like complete the weekly mission. Well, you can only complete a weekly mission once per character for that week because it's a weekly. But the reason why it's daily repeatable is day one, you can complete it on character A, day two, you can go complete that weekly on character B, and etc. And you can complete the weekly on different characters every day of the week. So now let's talk about one of my favorite places to go and make my basic 50,000 conquests for the day. It's a daily repeatable bonus, daily area CZ198. And the reason why I like this so much is it's very fast and it pops quite a few different bonuses that add up to a decent amount of conquest. So CZ198 only takes about 15 minutes to complete once you know what you're doing, and you're going to pop a bunch of different things together. So you're going to get the 2 complete missions on CZ198, which with the max stronghold bonus is about 5,200 points. You're probably going to get a renowned rank up, another 6,500 points. You're also going to pop the CZ198 weekly mission, which is another 11,000 and a touch. In general, I find that I usually get somewhere around 45,000 conquest points from doing CZ198. Now, the thing to keep in mind is that it depends where you are on reputation as well, as there is a pretty hefty bonus in Conquest for advancing reputation with any faction. Depending on how much renown rank up I get, I can earn my 50,000 Conquest, or sometimes I'm going to be a little bit short. So we just used the activity finder window, went to the solo tab, and then we selected CZ198, hit travel. That automatically gives us the weekly, transports us here, and then we can pick up all of our dailies and we can run through and finish all of the dailies. And we'll come out with just shy of 50,000 conquest. All right, so we just completed CZ198. We did the last mission. One thing you want to look for is when it's sorted by points, all the ones that are completed will be down at the bottom. We want to make sure that we hit defeat enemies too, which I did. That's awesome. Now we can just do a quick travel back and hand everything in. I don't know why, but on the Republic side, you actually have to hand in the weekly after you hand in all the dailies. And boom, there we go, I hit Conquest. So if we go and we take a little look at what missions we popped. Now this is only going to be the ones that are not infinitely repeatable that will show up as fully completed. So I did the Advanced Amplifiers earlier. But we got CZ 198 defeat enemies 1 and 2, mission complete, and weekly mission complete. And then we would have also got some renown rank up as the infinitely repeatable mission as well, which would have boosted us up a couple times for another 12,000 or even 18,000. And that's going to put us really close to that 50k. If you still have a few points left over, the easy things, the low-hanging fruit that you can come and grab is obviously advancement amplifiers I've already done. You could do Stronghold Decorator, which you travel to a stronghold. You don't even have to place 5 different decos. You can literally just pick up and place down the same deco 5 times. And then also a really big one that you can do daily is getting up the level of a companion. So companion influencer was worth about 17,000 with my bonus. So once you've gotten far enough in the story, you'll have tons of excess companions that you can pull out, and you can just level up any of those low-level ones. Another nice one is crew skill missions. 5 crew skill missions that get sent out. You could go set the lowest rank, set those 5 guys out. That's another one that's really easy, quick conquest. And then if you're set up for it, crafting dark projects and invasion forces are also great. A war supply invasion force and dark project, which requires a war supply invasion force. Both those are single, daily repeatable, so you can only do them once. But as you can see, invasion force is worth 17,000 conquest. And if we scroll down and we find the crafting for dark project, it's worth about 9,000 conquest. So these are some of the really low-hanging fruit that are very easy to get when you're just looking to get your 50k on different tunes. If you have reputation to gain, reputation ranked up is a really nice one as well. A lot of stuff I'm already capped on, so it's not that easy for me. Now, say that you want to be able to do multiple tunes in a day to get their 50k conquest. Obviously, doing CZ198 would not be feasible. I spread out my CZ198 over the course of multiple days, and I make sure that, I do a different tune on each day that I want to get if I know I'm not going to be playing that tune very often to earn conquest in any other ways. They have made the conquest system, so basically you just earn conquest by playing the game. And if you know you're going to be playing on a character for a fair bit, you don't even have to try and make their conquest for that week. But now let's get into the real fun stuff. How do you make the big conquest? If you're thinking about going past just your simple 50,000 and you really want to get into the big numbers and push yourself to see how far you can do. So it's going to come down to a couple things. One is the more time you spend playing, the higher conquest is going to be. And then, of course, the other thing is how time efficient you are with picking the stuff that's going to give you the biggest bonus. So if we start and we look sorted by points and ignore the first few Galactic Seasons objectives, you'll see a few things. They're going to pop up every single week. You're going to have your PvP, both ranked and unranked, which are big ones that are fairly easy to get. Because PvP requires a win, some weeks PvP is really good because of the event that's going on or the theme of Conquest for that week gives you extra bonuses. Otherwise, PvP can be a little bit slow to get your points on just because you do need wins. But I find that in general, doing unranked, it's not too hard. Just avoid the times when you notice that really good players are on or teams seem that they're absolutely stacked against your favor. Chances are you'll have a lot more losses at that point because it's probably pre-made teams in the queue, and that's no fun for anybody who's just inexperienced at PvP queuing up with randoms. But that's your PvP. If you know how to do it well, yeah, great way to earn some conquest. Hitting up this weekly mission. So you can only get this bonus on a character once for the whole week, but you, of course, can do multiple characters if you want multiple characters to get really high conquest numbers. Star Fortress, this is an absolute gravy train of conquest. Absolutely love it, but you do have to be far enough ahead in the story. If you are having trouble getting far enough ahead in the story, you can go to your ship, use your ship terminal, and make sure you skip ahead fairly far ahead in the story, and then you'll be able to go on to Odessa and unlock it. Once you're on Odessa, you're going to want to hop into your Alliance base. And we're going to run straight forward past everybody. And in this hallway, there is Miot, Deng, and he'll be the one that you're talking to start the Star Fortress story arc. And once you've done that, there'll be a bunch of follow this prompt, follow that prompt until you unlock the Star Fortress. So the general idea with being able to do the Star Fortress is that if you want to do it on story mode, you just have to do the one introductory mission, and then you can do all of the planets on story mode freely. Story mode is very easy to solo. You can do it very fast. It's still good conquest. So for a lot of players, this is going to be the best option. Now, veteran mode is also an option as well. And if you are on the right class, you can also burn through veteran pretty fast. I highly suggest a stealth tank. You could probably get away with a stealth DPS. I really wouldn't suggest doing it with a healer though, because you're just going to be way too slow. So once you've got yourself set up, you're going to want to pick up the Star Fortress weekly mission. And the main thing with Star Fortress is you want to do every single planet, whether you want to do them all on story mode, or if you want to do, 3 of the planets on veteran mode because they count as double towards the objective. Get your Star Fortress out of the way. There is no need to, do 1 mission a day or anything like that. You're going to make a lot of points in general getting Star Fortress done as well as doing the weekly. And then there is GSF. So if you want to compete in GSF, you get a weekly for that. That's a pretty big pop. And the other thing that makes GSF or Galactic Starfighter so good is that you also get these play matches as a specific ship. So not only do you just need to play matches, you don't need to even win them, but you also get bonuses for doing 5 matches on a specific ship. So you can team those up together and you can earn some pretty fast conquest doing GSF. All right, so let's talk about the next thing on the list. That would be the Uprising Weeklies. The Uprising Weeklies are a pretty good amount of conquest points. They also combine with a really nice Uprising Tour of Duty. The thing to note about this is it's daily repeatable, so you should only ever do 3 uprisings per day if possible. You've got 7 days to make your 11 uprisings for all of the 3 weeklies, so it's not a big stretch to spread them out over multiple days. The Master is only 1 mission, whereas the Veteran and the Story are both 5 missions that you have to complete. The other awesome thing is it pops your activity finder as well. It counts towards that. So that's going to be a nice little perk. If you are a subscriber, you can do uprisings. You go into the combat section of Fleet, and you're going to go to this table, and you're going to pick whichever one you want to do. And then it's going to give you a special button that will teleport you there. You do not need to actually use the activity finder to queue. Almost nobody does. So you're better off finding yourself a player who's going to play with you, asking in your guild if they're active, asking in general chat on Fleet, hanging around here and seeing if anybody else is interacting with the table, and you can try inviting them to a group, etc. As far as if Uprising Weeklies are worth it, if you're doing them solo, they're probably not worth it because they've made them hard enough that they take quite a while to get through now. Before, the story mode ones were super easy to get through, very easy to solo, and it was worth it. Now I would say make sure you have a teammate, otherwise it's not really worth the time investment, and you're better off skipping on to something else that's going to be lower on the list. So when it comes to doing the weekly missions for different planets, daily areas, these ones are hit or miss. A lot of these ones are very time inefficient, and you really don't want to hit them up if you don't have to. So they're kind of something that you're going to leave until near the end, but some of them aren't too bad. Like if you know that you're going to be trying to go big numbers for a contest one week, you could actually complete the majority of that weekly and keep it in your inventory log the week before, so that when that conquest week comes around, you can just pop in, boom, 1 mission, you're done, you get a ton of conquest real quick. They can also be worth it if you're still trying to farm rep. Islecath is a unique one that I suggest spreading out over 2 days and only doing the missions that are inside the Spire area or the inner ring area. And then if you come back on a second day, it'll refresh missions, and it's a lot better. All the ones that are spread out in the open world just take way too long to get around to. It's not worth doing it. Advancement Reputation, this one, again, if you are going to grind hard, like right now is the Gree event. So I could have each of my characters on my legacy all farm the Gree event until I reach the weekly cap for rep, and then I could save up all the excess Relic of the Gree reputation tokens, and I could cash those in every single day to get 1 more reputation rank with them during a conquest week, rather than using them to rep up right away. So that's a nice little trick. As you get further ahead in the game, you're going to have a lot of trouble finding things that you can still easily earn reputation with. So this one is usually something that I don't even pay attention to. They nerfed the amount of conquest points for Operations Masters too much, in my opinion. But you can still earn some decent conquest, but I wouldn't suggest it's something that you grind conquest on. Easy World Bosses, that's always a great win. Things specific to the event, so the Gree specific for this week, a lot of times there's some good stuff you want to look at, plan out, getting to those ones. Stronghold minor improvements. So we talked about the Stronghold bonus. Generally, you're not going to have an ability to do this one very often. I don't actually know what happens if you deactivate your stronghold, if you could buy a new one. But in general, I would save the stronghold minor improvement for a week where you're doing a really hard push as kind of like you know you're going to have trouble keeping ahead of somebody. You could have a stronghold that you just unlock one room a day for. So now we've kind of gone through the majority of the low-hanging fruit. Some of these you'll have to look at yourself to figure out exactly if they're worth it or not. I will note though that defeat sky troopers can be done in the landing party uprising or in the star fortresses. You don't actually need to do KOFE, KOET. Operation Story, Boral's Courtyard, super quick, totally worth it if you can do that every single day. Plus, it's a great way to get tech frags. And the bonus series, these might look like they're really good. I generally have not done these. From what other people have told me, they're not very time efficient. So they don't really suggest doing any of the planet bonus series. Now we get into the planet missions. So I tend to call these the planet specific conquest objectives or the planet objectives. And there's going to be a few things that are going to pop together that will get you some decent amount of conquest. And now these ones sometimes can be worth doing over the uprisings, especially worth doing over a solo uprising. That there's no doubt about that. So what we're going to be looking at is we're going to look at completing a heroic mission, but we want to complete a heroic mission that has a bonus. Because complete mission for the planet says complete 2 missions, you get a mission completion for doing the bonus mission. So we're going to pop a heroic that has a bonus. That's going to pop 2 things at once for just over 10,000 conquest. And then we're also going to have defeat enemies, which is another 4,300. So we're going to be looking at about 16,500 conquest, almost 17,000 conquest for doing 1 heroic with a bonus and killing 25 enemies. Now, if you're really out of stuff to do, you can go finish Rampage 2 on that planet. Or if you know like a really good quick spot to finish rampaging, but it's 50 enemies to do defeat enemies 2, and it takes quite a while, so it's not something that I always suggest on all planets when you're simply going there to pop the heroic. One other one I just want to sneak in here at the end is mission story time. If you are doing story with your character, this one will pop quite frequently. This is also a really good one. But don't be afraid to be doing your mission story as well. There are some parts in the story where the missions get a little more spread out. It takes longer to get there and come back and finish them, and it's not always worth it. But other parts of the game, holy crap, does this thing pop frequently, and it adds up to quite a bit amount of points without having to do any of these other specific ones that we've been talking about. And that brings us to basically the end of conquesting. So there you have it. We talked about some of the ways that you can easily hit your 50,000 conquest on each of your characters in your legacy. The ways that you can improve how much conquest you're getting, all the little efficiencies like increasing how fast you gain renown, making sure that you've maxed out your stronghold bonus. And the one thing that I didn't cover is you could also buy boosts that allow you to boost your renown gained or your experience gain. The superior renown boost off the cartel market is phenomenal at increasing the amount of conquest you're going to earn. Of course, that means that you are not capped on your renown points. So I hope you like that guide to Conquest. It's going to change a little bit depending on what objectives are up specific to the week. But in general, what you're going to find is a lot of the stuff I talk about here is going to stick around. I really focused on the stuff that's going to be there every week. And then I'll let you look into the things that are there specifically for whatever Conquest week is going on to see if those ones are worth your time or not. Like there's one week where all you do is world bosses. You know, you can just go on to Bel Savis and farm the world boss because he has a really quick respawn rate if you have a group that wants to do that. Or you can travel around to the different planets farming them. The previous week we just did was more PvP focused, Galactic Conflict I think it was called. And so I was able to earn a lot of good points just doing unranked PvP. This week wouldn't be quite as good for it, whereas last week was phenomenal. And then we've got our fixed events like Feast of Prosperity, Bounty Hunter Week, etc. And yeah, you really just got to be careful looking at those. There's a lot of tips that you can do to stockpile stuff to be ready for a Conquest week so you can hit really good points. We talked about some of those things such as saving up reputation tokens, pre-completing weekly missions, one away from being completed for the week. Now you too can go out and earn Conquest like a champ, or just help you be more time efficient in gaining your minimum conquest bonus every single week to get all the goodies and rewards that come along with it. Thanks for watching, and as always, have a great day.